Put down the blunt, pick up the dumbbell. So today I hit 225 pounds on flat bench press. It's been kind of a goal that I've been working for a long time. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I've been going to the gym for like quite a while now. Like, I was really heavy in like 2018, like 250 pounds, and like super overweight. And I started a weight loss journey, got down to like 160 was at my lowest, because I was a really high body fat, right? And I've been kind of going to the gym off and on since then. Like in my last video, I talked about like weed and how it can slow you down and make you procrastinate more and more. And that's kind of a big part, I would say, why I didn't hit my goals faster. Because the biggest thing that made me want to quit weed was I would realize that I had goals in the gym and I would want to hit them, but then sometimes I would kind of stop going to the gym, but I never stopped smoking weed. Like, I could stop going to the gym for 2 weeks, but I'm not stopping smoking weed for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's one of those things to where you have to decide where you're getting your dopamine from. You know, do you want the short, like, very low risk, very low input, but still rewarding kind of dopamine, like rolling up and smoking a blunt, to where you can just go to the dispensary, buy a pre-roll if you want, spend a few dollars, maybe $5, 15 if you want a good one, and just sit there, grab a lighter and smoke it up and you feel good? Or do you want the kind of dopamine where you get from hitting a new PR on bench press or whatever workout it is, or whatever thing it is, to where it takes a long time to get to? Like I said, it's been 6 years going to the gym, but obviously I haven't been consistent the whole time. So I probably could have hit that in half the time if I would have locked in, you know, got my stuff dialed, tracked calories the whole time, tracked my workouts the whole time, which I didn't do. And I still have a long way to go. I'm still not the best at doing any of those things, but I'm still not smoking weed. So I feel like I'm a lot farther into doing that. And here's what I really want to say is, you gotta focus on where you want to get it from. Because doing something like, when I hit that, I kind of always knew I was going to hit it. Like 225 didn't feel like an unobtainable kind of goal. Like, I knew 225 pounds on flat bench was a goal that, like, I would hit that. That is something that is obtainable for me. But it's just something that you're not going to get it from not trying. Like, you're not just going to accidentally bench 225. Like, you got to lock in. You got to do your chest workout. You got to work your triceps. You got to eat enough protein. And that's what I kind of love about the gym, to where you can't cheat the system. Like, you can't half-ass your workouts, not get enough protein, not get enough sleep, not get dialed in all these things, and get progress. Like, when you first start, yeah, you can kind of buck your way around and you can get some progress. You can grow a little bit. You'll put on some muscle. But once you start getting deep into it and you've made some, you really got to start dialing things in and just know what you're doing and kind of like focus on it to really keep going. That's what I love about going to the gym, to where it's like, it's such a short dopamine release, to where it's like, you have to work at it all day and so long to get those achievements. Like, smoking weed, you can feel like shit all day, go to the dispensary, $5, here you go, roll it up, spark it, you feel fucking awesome, right? And don't get me wrong, I still like that feeling. Like, it still feels kind of cool, but it feels kind of lame at the same time. So it's like, it's still something to where it's like, sometimes I have that urge, but it's like, it just doesn't do anything for me. Like, it doesn't actually make me feel better. It doesn't actually, I don't feel like I achieved anything from smoking a blunt anymore. Like, I never did, but it's just, I don't really yearn for that anymore. And when you start going to the gym and you really take that seriously, it's something so cool, to where like, you can spend an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever it may be, just pushing to fucking failure and going as hard as you can to go to muscular failure and push those reps and take your body to where it's absolute limit, to where this is all you can do. You cannot lift anymore. You cannot push any harder. And then after that, it's not over, because the rest of the day, you got to make sure you get your meals in. You got to make sure you hit your protein. You got to drink enough water. You got to get your steps in. You want to make sure you're moving. And at the end of the night, you got to get enough sleep. It's something to where it's constant. It doesn't stop. It's a lifestyle. And I love that about it. And I think as men, we need things like that. And as just people in general, but especially as a man, you need goals to work towards, to make you look forward to the next day, look forward to the next thing, look forward to the next month. Because just coming from me, like, I've realized that I always get bored with life when I don't have a goal that I'm working towards to the next thing. And that's why you can look at my channel, and then there's things like credit cards. Like when I first got into credit cards, I realized, like, oh, you have a credit score. You have something that's attached to your personal name, and it's a number. And this number is representative of how good you are with this system, how well you have interacted with the system, how much you know about this system, how you've played the game. That's the way I like to look at credit cards. It's like it's a game to me. Like, and you want the highest score. So like when I first got into it, it's like, oh, so everyone starts around like a lower, like 600 kind of score. But then if you know what you're doing and you do this and you do this and you do that, within a year or 2 years, you can get to 700. And like, that's a pretty good score. You can get approved for a lot of things. And that's just a really cool thing. And it made me kind of get motivated to where it's like, okay, like I'm ready to see how it's going to be in like these next few months. Like right now I'm at like a 600. In these next 3 months, I can get to like this number and this number and this number. And I'm saying, like, I think as men, we really need that. You need a goal that's pushing you and pushing you and pushing you to get farther and farther. And that's something that's great. And you need to focus on finding things like that and getting away from things like smoking weed. That, like, there is no goal with smoking weed. And that's one thing that made me really want to drop it, is to where, like, there's just really nothing to it. And it's just like an endless money pit, to where it's like, oh, like, I remember one time there was this certain company that made strains, and they were so good, they were so hard hitting, and like, I just loved them. I would always buy them and buy them and buy them. And then the dispensary that sold them went out. Like, they just shut down. So I would go to this other town, and I would search for them and search for them and search for them, and I finally found them and like bought it. And it was like just kind of whatever. And it's like that this is the train I'm on. Like this is the race I'm running. Like, just looking for this substance to make me feel some kind of way, and then I just spend money on it, and I get the feeling, and it's just kind of like, oh, okay. Like, you really got to switch up where you're getting your dopamine from, and focus on what it's doing to you and where it can get you in the future. Like, going to the gym has so many benefits and goals, like health, really health, like, which is like the biggest thing in your life. Is like, it doesn't just make you feel better, it can make you think better, it can make you look better. Like, I don't know, you just put the blunt down, pick up the dumbbell.